So one of the most powerful ways to create a cover letter that connects with a casting director is to name a mutual contact that you both know. So you can use like LinkedIn, you could use Google or Facebook, and you can search to try to find out who knows who. And if someone that you know well also knows the casting director well, that can be really useful to add into your cover letter, because suddenly the casting director's like, oh, they know this person. Maybe this person is more trustworthy than the other random people who have no connection to me. You need to make sure that your cover letter is really simple and short, and that the subject line is also really simple and short. Just keep in mind the KISS method. KISS generally means keep it simple, keep it simple, stupid. I like to say keep it super short, but keeping things as simple as possible and making it like, if you have a cover letter that's like this long, nobody's gonna ever read that. Keep it like, maybe 3 sentences, 4 or 5 at absolute most. That's about how long it should be. Ideally, in your cover letter, you want to include at least 1, 2, maybe 3 big reasons why they would want to work with you. And those reasons could include experience that you have or credits that you have that are related to the role. So you just want to find that kind of commonality. So if you're submitting for a big theater production, you could say that you've been in a Broadway role before. Or if you're submitting for a lead in a feature horror film, you could say, hey, I've played leads in horror films in the past. Ideally, it could be even more relevant, like, oh, I've actually played this specific character in the same show years ago. That's a cool strategy that Arbinder Robinson, an actor I'm friends with, used to get booked on Broadway. He kind of like continued playing the same exact role over the course of time and eventually got booked on Broadway, but that's a totally separate video. You should definitely mention one specific benefit that the production, like one specific reason that you want to work on this specific production, so that it doesn't look like a canned copy and paste message. You should generally finish up by saying, thanks so much for your time. I don't want to take up any more of it because I know how busy you are. I appreciate you reviewing my submission, and I look forward to hearing from you. Just something that kind of acknowledges how busy they are, because they usually appreciate that. I definitely recommend submitting your cover letter as a plain text message if you're going to be sending an email. You can actually use certain tools that allow you to see, like, track the message and see whether the person has opened it. But if you use a rich text format or an HTML text format, usually that can kind of get caught in people's spam filters. So make sure that you use a plain text format when you send your email, and then make sure that you actually use this program. I like to call it, I like to recommend followupthen.com. Like to basically put the email address that I'm following up with in the BCC line. And with the program, you would kind of write like 4 days at followupthen.com. And then that program followupthen, it kind of like, it'll email you back automatically 4 days later saying, hey, it's time to follow up with this person. So it's really cool. It makes it really simple and easy to kind of like remember and not forget to follow up with people. You can actually write anything in it, and I'm not getting any money by recommending them. I actually have used them for years. You could send like weekly things, like every week at followupthen.com, and you could say like, remind me to walk the dog or whatever, and you just get emails back that have your to-dos. And I usually use my email list as my to-do list. But definitely BCC 4 days at followupthen.com when you send the email, so that you don't forget to follow up with the person. And finally, you definitely want to make sure that you don't have spelling errors or incorrect grammar. That stuff can just make it look like you're unprofessional. So, have a friend or someone who's good at that. Just double check your emails before they go out.